Well, sorry guys, I guess that's about as close as you're gonna get. Let me see if I can make it bigger. No, I can't zoom in, sorry. So, anyway, there you go. Fettuccine sauce, angel hair pasta, which I love, as you know. And, yes, you guessed it, more chicken! Chicken, chicken, chicken. So, today, we're with the wonderful, beautiful musician, composer, songwriter. No, I'm kidding. Well, he's a composer. And he went to school for a bazillion years to be a music person. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Sweetie Pie, why did you decide to get into music? Wait for him to chew. He hasn't gotten the hang of this yet, so.
Oh, I started studying music at a fairly early age. Just kind of happened naturally. You know, my mother had bought an electronic, small version of an electronic organ from a piano store. But I took liking to it, so she sent me to lessons. And pretty much continued from there. You know, I took lessons. I had a few different teachers. You know, I had one main teacher who was most influential, who I started with. I started when I was 9, but the most influential teacher I started with when I was about, I think I was 14, 13. He taught me classical organ and things like that, and music theory, and you know, so I would play in church. I would do performances, solo performances. I would also play at services alongside my teacher sometimes, and just kind of kept developing from there. Eventually got into jazz.
And got stuck right there in jazz, you guys.
So, yeah, for me, I mean, just pretty much happened naturally over time. You know, I just kept practicing, kept listening. Listening is probably one of the biggest parts.
So do you play several different pianos and organs by ear and music?
Yeah, I mean, I received formal training, so I do, of course, read music, especially, you know, in order to play classical music and all that, but yes, I do play it by ear as well, which is really important for, to be a complete musician, you know, and to improvise, to play different styles, you have to be able to hear it, you know.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Wow. If I have permission, I'll put a little insert in here. Cooked the chicken a little too long.
Pretty good,
Oh, thank you. So how many different instruments do you play?
Well, just the piano and the organ, really. And depending on the setting, sometimes I play like electronic keyboards. If I'm playing in a band setting, you know, depending on what style I'm playing, like R&B. Playing R&B, soul, and stuff like that. I've played in groups like that. I usually play an electronic keyboard in those groups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then I've also played in more traditional jazz bands where you just use, you know, straight up piano. And when I was a church organist, of course, I played the organ. I played different types of organs. I mean, there's the Hammond organ. Most popular being the B3, which is what you hear in gospel music.
I never thought about different types of organs.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Only organ, when you say organ, I think of the one in the movies, you know, with those huge pipes and stuff.
Right. Well, you have the Hammond organ, which is the electronic. The original organ, of course, is the pipe organ. Those are the first organs, right, with the huge pipes Now there's a term for, I forget what the term is. I don't remember if it's an electro-pneumatic or what it is, but but they still have pipe organs today as well. They just work differently from the original ones. So the pipe organ is what's played more, you would hear like in a Catholic church.
Oh,
But,
interesting.
Or the organ that you'll hear in like, what we call the typical Transylvania sound. That everyone might be familiar with. That's a pipe organ as well.
Wow.
So I play those and I play.
So are you that wonderful teacher that teaches little kids how to play everything?
Yeah.
I bet you are.
Yeah, I mean, I used to teach different age groups, but especially. Well, years ago I taught. I attended a conservatory, like a community conservatory, music, and I would teach some of the kids there. I received instruction there and participated in groups and jazz ensembles and worked with some great people there. But I also would teach some of the kids in the summer and things like that. But
Believe you me, guy, he's definitely got the patience. I'm sure that's why God brought him in my life to help me learn patience.
But currently I'm not actually teaching anywhere, but
Taking a break, huh?
well, I think eventually I'd like to actually open some kind of music school where I wouldn't necessarily be teaching all the students, but where kids could come to learn music, and adults too. And I'd have lots of different instructors for different instruments and things like that.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
would you teach and own the school, or just own the school and look over stuff?
I think I would teach, but I wouldn't necessarily want it to be where I had to be there all the time. So I probably would want more have other people doing it, being available who can do it all the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the boss should not have to work all day, every day. Especially if he has to come home. Where are you? Where are you guys at today? Are you on that side? Okay, you're on that side.
No, I would just kind of like to have the freedom to travel if I wanted to, things like that, I mean.
Come home and make Big Mama happy. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Doing what you love and having a good life. Wow. So have you ever wanted to play any other instrument besides just the piano?
Yeah, actually, if I could play another instrument, I'd love to learn guitar. Especially, for some reason, electric guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Why
electric
the
guitar
electric
playing,
guitar,
I think
honey?
it's just one of the coolest things ever, Well, that and bass. I would love to be able to play the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, it's a little cliche, wanting to be an electric guitar player, but
Why do most guys want to be an electrical guitar player?
well, it's just that whole typical kind of thing, where the kids pretend that they're playing electric guitar and all that. Air guitar.
The air guitar.
It's just, it's kind of funny to me when I say that, but.
The link is in the description. Go get yours right now.
Well, I mean, especially considering the type of music the type of music I typically play. All right, it's kind of a funny thing to say. Funny choice, but
So do you typically play something other than jazz? Let me see what this does, guys.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, throughout my life, um, well, throughout my life, I mean, I played a few different things. I mean, of course, I was a church musician in my younger days. Much younger. I mean, I started playing church when I was a teenager.
wow.
So I was, pianist, organist in the church at the age of 16, right?
You all should know
That was like my
that
first
Sweetie's
job.
much younger than I am, so you can just call me Stella.
Well, that was actually my first job, technically speaking, in terms of actually, receiving any kind of payment for a task. All right, so obviously I played gospel church music.
Mm-hmm.
I played in some bands where we did like R&B.
But that was
soul,
fun.
things like that too, and
All those girls swooning over you.
Yeah.
You know it, honey. You know.
it wasn't
Mhm.
necessarily like that, but but
He's very shy. You should know. Okay, so that's why he's being modest.
but jazz is just, I don't know, it just was always my kind of biggest. I mean, I learned classical music, right? I mean, it's something that we do through training, but I mean, my teacher played jazz, right? So, I mean, my main instrument, when I say my teacher, I had several instructors, but my main teacher when I was a teenager, he played jazz, right? And he's much older. So,
So it was like Fane. You had one of those 80-year-old teachers who gave you all of his wisdom and insight.
well, he wasn't 80 in his 80s then. He's now, but at that time, I guess he was in his. How many years has it been? It's been a long time. Not sure. I guess he might have been in his 60s or something. It's been a good 20-something years.
Wow.
About since, I mean, pretty much once I got into college is when we stopped having our formal lessons. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would take lessons after school.
Wow.
Once I became a college student, I was studying engineering. It just changed my whole. Obviously, I mean, even high school and going to university just changed my whole life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
My day-to-day schedule. To classes sometimes at night and in the day. Whatever schedule they gave me, things like that, and so just kind of naturally, we didn't continue with lessons, but I was still. If he needed a second keyboard player at his church concert, he might still call me to play things like that. But I did go to a conservatory.
What's a conservatory?
It's basically like a music school.
Mm.
And I would, in a lot of colleges, Fridays, the only thing I would have to do, sometimes I would have a lab in the morning on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And go to the lab, a physics lab or whatever, because I was doing engineering at that time. And then I'd have private instruction with a jazz piano teacher in the afternoons. So I would do that. And then they had some ensembles and groups and things that you could participate in the evenings as well. And then on the weekends, sometimes you'd have, major people come through and perform, like some pretty major people. I'm trying to remember. Like Kenny Garrett, I don't know if you're familiar with him, he's a saxophonist, came through, and we had Vincent there for a while, doing some stuff, and different people came through to perform. Their names have left me now. There's the violinist Regina Carter. I think I missed her performance though. A bunch of other people who came in and performed.
Nice.
Yeah. Or some who came in and did workshops.
That must have been a really nice feeling to be able to talk to the musicians that you admire a lot.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned it, well, the most interaction I had there was with Billy Taylor, famed jazz pianist, and was
Keep
on
going.
TV a lot.
Straight up.
In the so-called black and white days. Oh, thank you. So,
Sorry, tight. Squeeze. Is it
yeah.
cold?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you full?
I'm very full. Alright, chicken. Wow. You know, we always think a musician's life, like a movie star's life is so, entertaining and different, blah, blah. And I'm still here to say, work is work. Just because work is different than what you do doesn't necessarily make it any easier or more glamorous. Because, honey, I got to tell you, you guys know, back in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, when you went to all those reception jobs with me for all those years, I loved it. And I know I was the best. So, hey, it was a good life. You know, it was a really good life. So, everything is everything when you're doing what you love. So, any words of wisdom for those out there wanting to be a musician or study or whatever?
Well, make sure, I would say, first of all, learn, you want to have strong basics. A lot of people, I think today, forget to put the craft, work on your craft. I put it like that. That's the main thing, work on your craft. I mean, going out to play and being around different people and all that, of course, is great. I mean, I did all that, But as an individual, you definitely want to work on your craft. If you want to be the best that you can be as an individual, work on your craft, work on your theory, study, listen, and listen to learn, you know what I mean? So that would be my main advice.
And there you have it, folks. Music lessons from the best. So, thanks for having chicken and fettuccine with us. We wish you a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. Thanks for having dinner with us. And we'll see you again next time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. And we'll probably have more chicken. Okay, guys. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.